a battlefield drenched in blood. The air is thick with the cries of the wounded and the dying. Bodies lie scattered across the scorched earth, a grim testament to the horrors of war. At the center of it all stands one man, his eyes wide with disbelief, his hands trembling as he takes in the devastation around him. This is not the glory he sought. This is not the victory he imagined. This is the Battle of Kalinga, and the man standing amidst the wreckage is Emperor Ashoka. This was the moment that transformed a ruthless conqueror into the greatest advocate for peace the world has ever known. But what happened here? And why did this battle alter the course of an empire forever? It was 261 BCE, and the Maurya Empire was at its peak. Ashoka, the grandson of Chandragupta Maurya, had spent years expanding his kingdom, crushing enemies, and securing his rule through sheer force. He was known as Ashoka the Fierce, a warrior king feared across the Indian subcontinent. But there was one region that refused to submit: Kalinga. Situated along the eastern coast of India, in present-day Odisha, Kalinga was a land of wealth and culture, thriving through trade and maritime power. Unlike other territories Ashoka had conquered, Kalinga was not ruled by a monarch. It was governed by a republic. Its people valued their independence above all else. But defiance came at a cost. Ashoka launched a full-scale invasion with one of the most formidable armies the ancient world had ever seen. Hundreds of war elephants, thousands of cavalry, and a vast infantry force. The people of Kalinga, vastly outnumbered and outmatched, refused to surrender. They took up arms to defend their homeland, fighting with unyielding determination. For days, the battle raged on. Swords clashed, arrows darkened the sky, and elephants stormed through enemy lines, trampling everything in their path. The rivers ran red with blood, the very earth soaked in the anguish of the fallen. Kalinga fought valiantly, but against the might of the Mauryan war machine, their resistance crumbled. By the time the battle was over, the kingdom lay in ruins. Kalinga had fallen, but the cost of Ashoka's victory was far greater than he had ever imagined. More than 100,000 people lay dead, warriors and civilians alike. Another 150,000 were taken as prisoners. The streets were lined with the bodies of the slain, while survivors wandered through the wreckage in despair. The cries of the bereaved filled the air, echoing in Ashoka's mind long after the battle was won. For the first time, the great conqueror did not feel victorious. Instead, he felt hollow. The destruction before him was not just the ruin of a kingdom, it was the ruin of humanity. The sight of lifeless bodies, the screams of orphaned children, and the sorrow of an entire civilization broke something within him. What had he done? This moment changed Ashoka forever. He renounced violence and embraced Dhamma, a path of righteousness inspired by the teachings of Buddhism. The warrior king set down his sword and became a ruler of peace. Instead of conquest, he dedicated his life to compassion, justice, and non-violence. Ashoka built hospitals, universities, and wells for his people. He erected pillars and rock edicts across his empire, inscribed with messages of peace, tolerance, and morality. He sent Buddhist emissaries far beyond his borders, spreading his newfound belief in non-violence across India, Sri Lanka, and even as far as Greece and Egypt. His transformation was not just personal, it shaped an entire era. The Battle of Kalinga remains one of the deadliest conflicts in ancient history, but it was also the battle that changed the destiny of an empire. It was a war that did not just conquer a land, it conquered the heart of its own emperor. Ashoka the Fierce became Ashoka the Great. His story proves that even the most ruthless can change, that wisdom and compassion are the true marks of greatness, that a single moment can reshape a lifetime. If a conqueror like Ashoka could transform his path, what does that mean for us? If this story moved you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more untold history, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the moments of the past that still shape our present. Let me know in the comments. Do you believe Ashoka's transformation was genuine, or was it just a political strategy? Let's discuss.